Hi students, it's Mr. O'Leary, and for today's mini lesson, what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be constructing a box plot. So I would like you guys to turn to page 15 of your statistics packet and go to example 1. So for example 1, it states for the data set, and we've got the list of numbers, construct a box and whisker plot and find the interquartile range. So the first thing we want to do is anytime we're looking to find the 5 statistical summary, and that's what the box plot does, is we want to make sure that our data is listed in order. So we're going to take this data right here, 4 through 7 with all these numbers, right? And we're going to order them based on from lowest to highest. Now be very careful with this because we've got a lot of numbers here. It's very easy to skip a number or miss a number. So, for example, 1, there's 1, so 1. Then we look for 2s. There's a 2 right here, so, and no other 2s, so 2. And so on and so forth. 3s, 1, 2, 3 3s. So we're going to keep on doing this for all the numbers. So there are 2 4s, there are 4 5s, there's a 6, 2 7s, an 8, and a 9. So another way to kind of check to make sure that you got all the numbers, count them. So there are 16 numbers here, and that matches the 16 numbers in the set that we've got. So the first thing we want to do is we want to find that 5 statistical summary. So that 5 statistical summary is your median, the first quartile, the median, the third quartile, and the maximum. So minimum and maximums are very easy to find. It's your lowest number and the highest number. So the minimum is 1, the maximum is 9. Now the median is that middle number. So we kind of want to again go to our outside numbers and count all the way to the inside. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So our median is actually in between 2 numbers. And this makes it easy because the 2 numbers is 5. So 5 plus 5 is 10, and 10 divided by 2 is 5. There you go. Now, the first quartile, so once we've identified the median we don't count that as part of the upper half and lower half. But in this case, because the median is in between 2 numbers, we count this 5 right here. So the first quartile is the median of the lower half. So again, we do the same thing like we did with the median. We go from the outside in. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So the first quartile is in between these 2 numbers, 3 and 3. Well, again, just like before, that's easy. So the first quartile is 3. The third quartile is the median of the upper half. So again, 1, 2, 3, 4. So this time, the median is between 6 and 7. Not the median, but the third quartile is between the median and, the third quartile is the median of the upper half. In this case, the third quartile is between 6 and 7. So the average of 6 and 7 is 6.5. So there's my 5 statistical summary. So that makes it very easy now to kind of construct our box and whisker or box plot. Now, the first thing you want to do is when you can, construct a box plot is you want to generate a number line. So here's my number line right here. And I'm going to go from 0 to 10 because, I'm going from 1 to 9. So I want to make sure that my box plot is within the number line that I'm constructing. And I'm going to just put middle number right here, 5. Now, it doesn't have to be super accurate because right now we're just, the number line is for reference for our box plot. So if it's a little off, that's fine. So what we want to do is we want to plot our 5 statistical summary. So 1 is going to go about right there. So we're going to go above the line. 3, so 1, 2, 3. 3 is right here. 5 is my median. So that would be 6, 6.5 right here. And the last is 9. So there's my 5 statistical summary. Now, First thing you want to do is draw your box. So the box is basically your third quartile and your first quartile. And the median is the line that goes in the middle like so. Now, the whiskers is your minimum and maximum. So there is your box plot, but we're not quite done with this because it is important that you label those numbers. You label the phi statistical summary. That's why this number line is not, super accurate. We don't really need it to be super accurate if we label. If you do not label, you must make sure that line is accurate then. So my first quartile right here, or excuse me, my minimum is right here at 1. My first quartile is 3. My median is 5. My third quartile is 6.5, and my maximum is 9. So minimum, quartile 1, median, quartile 3, and your maximum. So sometimes, again, the median could be the second quartile as well, but we usually call that the median. Couple of things. Now, the first quartile is also called the 25th percentile, which means that 25% of the scores are either at the first quartile or below it. The median is the 50th percentile, which means half of the scores are at the median or below it. The third quartile is the 75th percentile, which means that 75% of the scores are at this number, 6.5, or below it. And the maximum, of course, would be the 100th percentile. So these are basically, my phi statistical summary for my box plot. Now, the one thing that we need to answer is what is the interquartile range, which is also called the IQR. So the IQR is the third quartile minus the first quartile. So the third quartile is 6.5. The first quartile is 3, so 6.5 minus 3 is 3.5. And that would be your answer for that. Now, a couple of things really quickly. The interquartile range is a nice way to show dispersion because it eliminates any outliers that you may have. So outliers really distort the range, but the interquartile range is a nice way to show the dispersion of the data. And a couple other things. So from the video, there's a big difference between dot plots and box plots. They are both nice ways to display data, but with a box plot, we can have a lot of data and be able to display that very nicely for people to see and understand. If we had a lot of data, dot plots are really not that good because dot plots show every point of data in it. But when we don't have a lot of data, if we don't have a lot of points, then dot plots really work very well because then we can see those trends and see each piece of value, each piece of data in that display. Now, if you have any questions, feel free to send me a message and on Google Classroom. And I hope you stay safe and have a good weekend. Take care.